Hello Agent, my name is RemovableSanity, and today I'm reviewing Will Follow the Light on the Series X, developed and published by Tomorrow Ahead Studio. So what is Will Follow the Light? Will Follow the Light is a single-player first-person journey through the harsh northern latitudes as you sail endless waters, searching for a way back to your loved ones. The premise is you play as Will, who, to find peace and reunite with his family, must sail across endless waters, face numerous challenges, and ultimately discovering himself. The game boasts stunning sea and landscapes, realistic dock and sailing mechanics, compelling narrative adventure, and challenging immersive puzzles and set-piece moments. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, the developers have provided a couple of options such as camera lag, motion blur, sail transparency, and dot opacity. The game does not allow button remapping, but does allow stick sensitivity. In relation to audio and visual options, these are basic, so should you have hearing, motor or visual issues, this may not be the game for you. Next up is gameplay. Narrative games sometimes get a bad rep, either in their poor storytelling or chaotic implementation of their puzzle mechanics. That being said, they're not the easiest games to design to ensure that you're drawn deep within the world that has been created. So, any developer which wishes to take on the challenge better have a good understanding of what is acceptable and what is not. So, is Will Follow the Light a deep, meaningful tale, or something you will sail away from after a couple of hours? Let's find out. From the beginning, you are introduced as Will, son of a lighthouse keeper who he himself now looks after a lighthouse. He has a son and an ex-wife who passed away earlier due to an accident, with his own father and friend Cass helping out take care of the boy. There is clear tension between the father and Will, with him blaming him for always working and never being at home, even after his own mother has passed away early in his life. The beginning sees you being tasked with getting your lighthouse up and running, as a big storm is currently bearing down on you and the town that you inhabit. The tasks range from collecting data, changing the lighthouse bulb, and replacing a fuse. The fuse task is something that will crop up more than once throughout his journey. Once you are done, a colleague will meet you below to request you head into town immediately after a catastrophic event. A small cutscene later and you end up at the town to see the devastation of a mudslide that has destroyed a lot of it, with search helicopters flying over. Distraught, you search the buildings for your son amongst the wreckages. You soon collapse from exhaustion and wake up in an emergency tent and try to find out what has happened and where you can find your son. Here, a series of tasks from the inhabitants around will confirm that your son and father had left on a boat prior to the incident. Thankfully, you have a boat called Molly that will help get where you believe they are, but first you'll need help with the local mechanics to fix it up. Now, you would have already done some puzzles up to now, which will range from simple tasks to more complicated ones that will challenge your thinking skills. By far the best, at least for me, was putting together the main gearbox for the ship, using only a semi-isometric sketch in how these things look when finished. Here you will lose a lot of trial and error in working out which bit goes where in what order, and if you use the visual prompts carefully, it's really not that hard at all. From there you get access to the ship and actually sail the boat to a number of locations. There is a quick flashback cutscene which lays out the main mechanics, each giving you nice descriptions of what each pulley, lever and ratchet does. Now you can just skip these sections, but for me, starting the motor to get out of the harbour before fully letting the sails out was a truly great experience. These will be small set pieces that you'll get to enjoy, with enough variety to keep things interesting. There's a particularly fog-based sailing puzzle that sees you navigate a tight path in low visibility that really keeps you on your toes. Once the sea journey is over, you will then land on a specific island with the sole aim to light the lighthouse and follow the light to its next destination. This will be repeated a couple of times before your journey truly ends. Within these semi-open arenas, most are often populated with some residents and a small collection of puzzles. These range from figuring out lock code combinations, searching for collectibles hidden around, and changing fuses. Combined with that, early in the game you collect a special lamp, which once repaired casts different types of yellow, red or blue light. This device runs on a low capacity battery that needs to be recharged often at charging stations found in various locations around the map. Charging is no small task either, as it will involve matching up synth waves before you can place it in the slot to recharge. The light is also used to help solve the game's different puzzles available, whilst also unlocking memory echoes that convey important narrative lore regarding family members. Further into the game, you even get to experience dog sledding, which, as someone who has done so, felt very flighty and not true to reality. Real dog sledding will mean leaning side to side to get the dogs to turn, not just move a stick for the front dogs to change direction, but this is more of a personal niggle than a major issue. Overall, I can say that I really did enjoy my time with this game, with its variation of puzzles and seafaring. It's not often that game hits that nice spot of exploration, puzzles and just the gentle feel of the sea in one lovely package. Next up is graphics. Visually, the landscapes are superb in their impact to the player, with authentic modelling of the waves themselves creating the perfect seafaring mood. From the fog to the cliffs of outposts to the snow under your feet and the storm in the sea, it really feels authentic and well designed. However, the character models are often low grade by comparison, and worse, static. You will find many NPCs just standing around on one spot with little to no movement, like they are locked into the ground against their will, waiting patiently for you to interact with them. Lighting is equally well done, with its illumination specifically in the more fog-orientated areas really hitting the realism aspect to almost near perfection. It's clear whatever they use to illuminate these areas has been done with thought and precision to ensure you are focused in exactly the areas they need to be. The game also has a photo mode, which again is perfect for getting those fantastic shots of particular scenes on show, or just to admire the landscape more in depth than you can from the gameplay alone. The UI is super clean to almost non-existent to ensure you really soak in the landscape and tension it brings around you. Overall frame rate and stability were smooth, but I did see a number of pop-ins regarding characters when moving away a set distance. Finally, it's sound. The game has full voice acting that is probably for me the least impressive. It's clear that the actors are reading from a script rather than living the experience, and it comes across as mostly them sounding bored in even the most dramatic scenes. The main protagonist, Will, never successfully conveys the emotions of a man who's in pure desperation to find his son, with it more akin to him losing a set of keys instead.
Harbour life is the same everywhere. Brings back good memories.
Now, whilst the voice work may be a bit flat, the story for the most part goes hard, with its job in telling of how many fathers place work over their connection to their families, either through choice or obligation, and how this in turn affects their families and them, with both sides often poorer for it. It is rare for a father's struggle to be told in the modern era, one I hope that more developers will convey in a bid to understand the importance of how a father figure can be to the family.
Locked me in the lighthouse, go out drinking and lie on his boat. He ignored me. That's when the problems started.
Environmental sounds, however, are the complete opposite, with the roar of the waves crashing against the bow thundering through the screen. Music is another stunning highlight, where they just got it right, with beautiful orchestral music with emotion-laden piano scores hitting more than any verbal conversation could possibly achieve. These songs were real big hitters out there that struck my nerves more than I'd like to admit to. My recommendation here would be a good quality headset to enjoy that superb music in its very best form. That, if like me, will help really connect with you on a deeper level. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Will, Follow the Light is a great purchase. The game is short, but about the right length for those with a busy lifestyle, and its message to the male audience alone is something that should be played in helping all to understand their role within society and their impact on their families. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £20.99, or approximately $25, and depending on your skill and patience, would give you about 10 plus hours to try and get all the hidden collectibles. There really isn't much in terms of replayability, though I'd be hard pushed to say if, like me, you will still go back for the sailing parts just for the enjoyment of it. The game itself isn't perfect, but very few indie titles often are. What it does get right though is the fundamentals: story, emotion, gameplay for the most part, and finally, resolution. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.